I was born into the book business. I was born in 1945. I started running a cash register when I was 7, and I did bookkeeping for my dad.
Your father's name was?
James Spanath.
Uh-huh.
He was born in 1910. He came here when he was 16. The day he came to town, he was put to work. So he found a job selling newspapers. And then he gradually worked for a man named, oh golly, Mr. Allen, I believe it was. And so they distributed the newspapers, and then when Mr. Allen retired, then my dad took over the newspaper, and then he added magazines, and then we added books. And my dad had a magazine wholesale book distribution company called the Bloomington News Agency, and he started that in the 30s. He was what they call a magazine jobber, and he had the whole southern part of Indiana. So from Indianapolis south, he would deliver newspapers and magazines to businesses. Every day, newspapers, every day. And then we got into the real bookstore. The Monon Railroad came through Bloomington, and where the Chase Bank is, the old railroad track, which is the trail, there was a building there, and my dad had a magazine shop there, and some books and candy, I don't know, maybe cigarettes, but for people that were riding the train and wanted to get off. So he had a magazine bookstore there. And then we went across the street to, I think it's something, the alley, it's something alley.
The alley bar?
Yeah, and we were there for a short while. And then we opened the Book Nook. And then we had another bookstore downtown up here by the theater in the 100 block of North Walnut. I don't know how long we were there. So we've been in the book business for many years. And we opened the Book Nook in 1949. I was 4 years old. 522 East Kirkwood Street. Okay. So it was next to the Sample Gates, across the street from the Von Lee Theater. It was my mother's idea to have a bookstore. We rented from Indiana University, and then they had to add a second floor to that. That was part of the lease. So then we had more books upstairs, and then we added office supplies and school supplies. But then my dad thought he would lose his lease in the about 63, 64. So this building, which was the Monroe County State Bank, was up for sale, had been up for sale for about a year. And the president of the bank told Dad he needed to buy this building. So Dad bought it, and in the fall, right around Christmas, and he immediately just threw in books, and we were open, ready for business around Christmas of 1964. So but then we still had the Book Nook. So we had the Book Nook, and then we had the Book Corner. A lot of people get confused. They think, but it was the same owners. And so we had 2 bookstores within 5 blocks of each other for over 20 years. There was a Book Nook, and that was around the corner. And that was more of a bar, I believe. Hoagie Carmichael made famous. Hoagie entertained there, wrote songs. But when they changed their name to the Gables, Dad picked up that name, but he told me many, many times that he regretted picking up the name, the Book Nook, because people would come in expecting it to be where Hoagie Carmichael was, and that was a totally different location. Yeah. In the 70s, and we ran the Book Nook, and my sister ran that where she was in optometry school, and then when she graduated, and we didn't own that location, so we made the decision, and we ran out of family. So we decided that we would close that location. I was 18 when Dad bought this building in 1964. The downtown was really on the decline, and there was a lot of empty shops. But I really think that we were one of the first stores to actually invest into the downtown, and we got people coming in, and we got restaurants coming in, and it's been, I think it's been really good a good draw for the downtown. I don't know how I'd describe the Book Corner. The size of the store is wonderful. It's a beautiful location. It's the best location downtown. The visibility of it and the walking of it, and I wouldn't change that for a heartbeat. What it was 10 years ago is so different than what it was 50 years ago. But I remember 50 years ago when Christmas and the day after Christmas, and hundreds of people were in and buying books, and then we had the big bookstores come by and the other bookstores. But my dad always said that competition was always good, and that made you a better retailer. My mother said that we had the best customers in the world. And it's a two-way street. You have to listen to be successful in a business. You have to listen to your customers, what they want. You have to give really good customer service. I have a nice staff that's easy to deal with. We are a trade bookstore. And people confuse when they do interviews with, oh, how's the book business? They put used bookstores in there. A trade bookstore is new books. We're not a textbook store, and we don't sell used books. So I'm a trade bookstore, and I sell a lot of children's books, cookbooks, art books. Across the line, we do special orders. I'm the only bookstore in the country now that I know of that sells the complete Penguin Classic line, and that's 1,400 titles. We have local authors. Ross Gay has done phenomenally well. He's a local poet, and his books are outstanding. Oh, we must have 100 authors in this town or more, and we don't have a special section, but we put them like in science or travel or whoever, but the talent here in this town is incredible. It's just really fun to sell everybody's books. I love selling books, and being a bookseller is really a wonderful job. It's a real pleasure, yeah. 4, 5, 6 years ago, I wanted to get some stuffed animals, but I wanted them to be in relationship with books. And so I went to a big gift fair. There was a gun company, they're well known, they're made here in the US, or they used to be. And so we bought some of their product, and again, I sold it, and then we ordered more, and we sold it, and we expanded into stuffed animals. Some of them we try to pair them up with books. So if somebody's buying, we had a little hedgehog, and we paired that with a book, and we sell both of them together. And then we have a flying squirrel puppet, and we sell a book with that, or Curious George. So that's fun when you can pair up. And then we did the same thing. We have kids' T-shirts. So this company put in, I think it's about 45, like the children's golden book, Shy Little Kitten, and the Little Toots, and the Little Engine That Could, and all of these T-shirts. So again, we're trying to do book-related items. Otherwise, I would just go out of my mind, right? I really like to listen to my customers, what they want. And jigsaw puzzles were another thing. Now, we sold puzzles down at the Book Nook. Mm-hmm. We always had puzzles. And then, maybe 10 years ago, I put in maybe 6 or 8 puzzles. And then I sold a few, and then I put in 6 or 8 more, and more and more. I have probably 500 or 600 designs right now. And I listen to what my customers want. They want a wooden puzzle now, so I've ordered wooden puzzles. They're very high end. You gotta listen to what your customers want, and that's with everything. We had a fire here like 5 years ago, and I think that allowed me to do some things that I wanted to do. And there was nobody selling greeting cards. There was a couple card companies, they've gone. So I decided, well, I'll service them. And so I put in a card rack, and I did well with it. And I put another card rack in, and then I did better. And I just decided that there was a market and people wanted it, and it went well with books. I enjoyed buying them. I never, as a kid, did an advent calendar, but just in the last 4 or 5, I had customers asking. We put a few in 4 or 5 years ago, added to that. The next year, added again. This year, it's like, wow, I'm selling a lot of advent calendars. So I've even got more coming in from Germany, and we have some from different wholesalers. We don't target like going away or new house cards or pet death, things like that. But we do birthday, a lot of birthday cards. We do Christmas and general cards. I'm sure we did some Hanukkah. We missed, this is again, last year I heard from my customers they wanted Hanukkah cards. So I made a special effort to put in a nice selection of Hanukkah cards, and we're selling them. We do free gift wrapping year round, and that has been my advertising. I make probably 3,000 bows every Christmas to do the gift wrapping, and I buy probably $1,000 worth of gift wrapping paper every year. It's expensive, but that's how I advertise, because people come in on a Saturday, they're running late, they need a birthday present for Johnny, and they know they can get it wrapped here. You know, they know. And that's like Christmas last year. People know they could come in and get a card and a stuffed animal and a puzzle and a book or 2 books, and they could get what they needed in one shopping trip and a toy. And, you know, it was really nice that, you know, you could do one shop and it wasn't a Kmart, that you could buy quality things. And we have a nice selection of things, and we special order. So if we don't have it, we'll try to get it for you. So. And I had a customer tell me one time, well, you have to have some things you don't like. And it's like, no, I like everything in here. And I pick out everything. We put in funny pencils and, new cards, new card lines. Tote bags are another thing that are interesting. But they all work well with the bookstore. So we can sell you a onesie with a Very Hungry Caterpillar. We can sell you a toy with that. We can sell you a book. I learned in business school when I went in '63 at IU that you can't be everything to everybody. I think being better is better than being big, because I think the bigger you are, the less control you have. And I guess maybe I like to control so many things, but I really like to be in control. I like to know what's going on. I like to be in control of my inventory. I like to still wait on customers. And if I was much bigger, I would not have that. I've done this for 60 years, or maybe. And I still learn things every day. I really do. You have to listen to be successful in a business. You have to listen to your customers, what they want. You have to give really good customer service. And when we had our fire here, our customers were there for us. I mean, an hour after we opened, we had people in here just buying stuff, you know. They waited to buy. We opened a week before Christmas. And I appreciate that. So, you know, we've been there for them, and they've been there for us. And it's a two-way street. You've got to treat your customers well. And I hope I'm going to go out of this life one day, and I feel really good about what we did for Bloomington and their people. And they treated us well, too.